Good day, everyone. It's Dusty. I'm here with Osha Key today. She is an author and a speaker and the founder of the Key Method, as well as a transformational coach, and is a belief rewiring expert. She is here to talk to us about anything and everything that we can. First of all, I want to ask you, Osha, how did you get started on your journey? How did you get involved in all these various things?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and thanks everybody. Well, I guess my journey started even when I was a kid. I was always really interested in psychology. I was always counseling my friends and really always wanted to kind of find out the meaning of life and why we're here, the purpose and everything. But really, I guess my journey, like in terms of coaching, started 10 years ago when I was still in a corporate job, but I was really interested in understanding how the brain works. So I started studying meditation, psychology, and started studying coaching. And then in 2012, I quit my job, pretty much sold everything, quit my life. I used to live in New Zealand back then and moved to Thailand to start my own online business. And actually, I started my business as a health coach because that's what I studied to get a diploma in holistic nutrition and health coaching. So it started with really health coaching because that was my passion at the time. Awesome. But I started, giving people meal plans and exercise programs. And that was my kind of personal journey as well. Mm-hmm. I got really overweight and really unhealthy back in 2008, 2009. So I kind of decided to change everything. And it really worked on myself. And then I started helping other people. But soon I realized that it's not about the diet. It's not about the exercise program. People know that they shouldn't be eating lots of sugar and pizza and everything, but they still do it. So I realized, okay, it's not really about what we do, but why we do it. So I got really passionate about the mind. And also when I lived in Thailand, I used to go to Thai, Buddhist monasteries and spend some time there to practice Vipassana silent meditation for 7, 10, or 21 days. So I did a lot of that. And that was kind of my best university in psychology, although I studied a lot about psychology and human mind, but nothing can beat that time. It was literally no distractions, not even food, technology, books, anything. You just sit with yourself and you face everything. Mm-hmm. So that's how I started incorporating kind of psychology and mindset and rewiring the beliefs. So combining kind of nutrition and, healthy lifestyle with mindset. And that was around 2013, 14, 15. And then eventually kind of dropped the nutrition part and just focused merely on the mindset, which is now kind of my main expertise.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know that the people's mindset plays a huge part in anything. I know for myself, getting on that negative vibe and kind of ruminating on it has definitely played a factor in, my perspective on things, which I'm working on that and is getting much better. So tell us more, what exactly is belief rewiring?
So I personally believe that beliefs shape our reality and they become self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you believe that, you're an amazing person and everyone loves you and you're doing great at life, then you'll show up with that kind of energy, and then the environment will confirm that. Whereas if you believe I'm not good enough, I can't do it, nobody likes me, so you would come with a different energy. So it's not just some sort of woo-woo magical concept that you believe shape our reality. It's actually very practical. And I guess once you give an example, everyone can relate to that. So the thing is, especially in the last 10 years, there has been a lot of science about the brain. That brain is actually plastic. And we have these neural pathways in our brain, which means that the neurons, which is the brain cells that fire together, wire together. That's why when we repeat a certain action over and over again, it becomes automatic. And even the language, all the thoughts, you think the same thought over and over again, it becomes kind of automatic and it's in your subconscious mind. And we don't even see it as a thought. We just kind of accept it as self-fulfilling prophecy, or the self-evident truth.
Kind of like just being a robot going with it. Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah. So that's why when we change those beliefs, our reality starts changing. And the thing is that these neural pathways, they're not set in stone. They don't have solid reality. We can actually rewire them. We can change that by using a certain, method. We can actually start thinking a different thought. But it's not enough just to decide and instead of thinking like I'm not good enough, just say like I'm good enough, because that's what people think, like affirmations are enough, but it's not the case. In my experience, like affirmations don't really work unless you already believe that. So if you try to change your belief or just say like I'm good enough or I can have, what I want, like it's not gonna work probably. And I don't know, maybe your, viewers have tried it, and a lot of people, when I work with people, they just come to me and they say that they're frustrated. They try to love themselves, they follow this advice, let's say to look in the mirror and tell that they love themselves, but they actually don't feel it. And if you try to affirm something that is the opposite of your current belief, it almost like creates a worse effect, because then you create an inner conflict at the back of your mind. So that's not really effective. But there's a way how you can integrate the old supposedly negative belief and shift it to the new one.
Is that a difficult process? I mean, how do you go about shifting, if you will?
It's actually not a difficult process. And, throughout the years, I've studied psychology and I tried all different belief changing techniques. I've done loads of coaching courses, and some of them work, some of them don't, but parts of them worked and didn't. So I kind of created my own method based on the client's experience over the last 8 years. And it started with a 3-step process, but I thought, sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. Like, what's a missing link? And then I incorporated another step, and another step. So I've created my own method, which is an 8-step, the key method. That's what I call it now. I'm Osha Key, so it's kind of based on my name. So I invented that, and it's really, really effective. And it's actually not hard at all. Right. And in 2 weeks, you can completely shift your reality and your relationship with yourself if you're really committed.
Awesome. So in the key method, do you have, you're saying it takes like 2 weeks, but is it just like sitting down mentally and telling yourself certain things, or is there a certain process? Does it incorporate like meditation and stuff? I mean, maybe.
Well, first of all, to understand how we change the belief, we change belief kind of with 2 things: repetition and emotional impact. So that's why repetition, like if you already believe something, you need to kind of repeat it over and over again to build these neural pathways in your brain. However, as I said before, if it's just the opposite and you don't currently believe it, it creates an inner conflict. So that's not enough. And emotional impact means like you need to generate that feeling, because that's when the brain becomes more plastic. So sometimes we change belief, or like change, our kind of beliefs through negative things. Let's say something bad happens in their life, like someone dies, you get a disease, a cancer. That's when people create a massive shift. But that's not necessary. You can actually change through positive impact. So by generating the gratitude. So that's kind of the key idea. And at the same time, as I said, you need to incorporate the old beliefs. So what I do, like I support my clients and I guide them through the process when we integrate the old belief by understanding why it was created in the first place. Because we think that with limited negative beliefs, they're here to sabotage us, to punish us, and to kind of ruin our lives. But really, that's not the case. There's nothing negative really in your subconscious mind. It's just these confused kind of protection mechanisms that at some point in your life, they either served you or tried to serve you, or just to get your needs met, to either fit in or get love, connection, or safety. And sometimes, for example, a very common one where when I work with women is that they believe that they're not good enough, or like I'm not good enough. I don't look fit enough, like I don't deserve, what it takes, I don't deserve to have what I really want, or like my life will start when I lose weight, when I look a certain way, or when I achieve this and that. So that's a negative belief, right? But the intention behind it is positive, because it's trying to motivate you to change.
The problem is we focus too much on it.
Yeah, but it actually does the opposite. It's not effective, but the intention is there. So if you just try to say like, oh, I'm good enough, it's going to keep coming back. So that's why it's not enough just to switch it. You need to really extract this wisdom. And then that's what I do. I help, hold their hand and really like we go deep into when it happened and all these things. And then you go back in the past and it almost like changed the story, changed the narrative. And you integrate it and you really honor and thank the belief, and you spend some time to just really appreciate it. And appreciate not what it's done, not like, oh, great belief, you're so good, but just for the intention. And really,
Right.
I connect with your subconscious mind and your heart and just really thinking like, wow, you really suck. But like, I see that you've been trying to help me all these years to make me feel better, to make me feel loved and make me kind of believe that I'm lovable. So that's kind of, it's like a deep process with a lot of self-compassion, which I've learned, from my Buddhist training, also like to have this like loving kindness and compassion towards yourself.
Right.
So we just like sit with that, and you have to love this negative belief until it dissolves. So that's a
Awesome.
part of that.
So basically, you've got to learn that while you put up all these possible negative beliefs, at one point in your life, it was really there to protect you and
Yeah.
serve you in some way. But over time, it's gotten distorted and has caused basically interference with you progressing forward. So
Yeah.
going back and realizing and having some compassion over the fact that, yes, that was there for a reason. And I'm very thankful that you were there. And I
Yeah.
acknowledge that you were there. Now we're going to change that story and move forward.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
another key thing is that it's important to change the story in a way that's already believable to you. So
Yeah.
if you say like, let's say you don't love yourself and you want to love yourself, you can't just say like, I love myself, because your brain will, the bias radar in the brain will go like, no, you don't. What are you trying to do? You can't fool yourself. So instead, you find something that's believable now, and you have these incremental kind of steps. So for example, that could look like something like saying like, well, I don't love myself yet, but I'm willing to learn how to.
Right.
And that is way, way more self-loving than actually trying to affirm that I love myself. Because that's really
Gotcha.
true. You have to you can't fool yourself. So have to be really, really honest with yourself and really connect with your heart. And that's the key to transformation.
And that's a really hard thing for people to connect with. I know for
Doesn't have
myself.
to be. Doesn't have to be. When we change the self-talk and when we change that relationship with ourselves, how we relate to ourselves, it actually doesn't have to be really hard. And that's what's so surprising to a lot of my clients. They're like, oh my God, this is actually not that hard. And then they go and then they teach their children and their friends like the method. So it's actually, it doesn't have to be hard. It
That's
just
awesome.
requires commitment to yourself.
What do you think is the biggest obstacles that people that they run into that keep them from living, to their fullest?
I think the belief that life is supposed to be hard. And it's true if you believe it, but it doesn't have to be. That's not the ultimate truth. Or again, as I said before, like believe that I'm not good enough, especially for most women. They feel like, well, when I lose that weight, or when I get that promotion, or when my children become older, like when this, and that will happen, then I'll start living. But the thing is, like, there's no future. No one has ever found the future. Whenever you try to go and look for it, it's never there. All you ever have is the present moment, right? So I know it sounds like a cliche, all we have is the present moment, but really, all we ever have is actually the present moment and the process. So life is about process. And yes, we do need to have goals and aspirations, but they're just here to give us direction and kind of a pretext for the process. But when you really understand that, like, all I ever have is now, and how can I make the most of it? And instead of resisting and thinking that reality is supposed to be different, or this moment should be different, something is not enough, just kind of fully dropping into the moment and appreciating what you have, that's when actually things start unfolding. So I guess to answer your question kind of directly, like what holds people back is that idea that something will happen, my life will happen, in the future, or that this moment is supposed to be different, or I'm supposed to be different, or something is not there yet.
Gotcha.
Right? It's always perfect. Everything is always perfect.
Right. I mean, if you're focusing on this moment, you can actually and be grateful about this moment. I have found that like the gratitude part is the biggest aspect, because you find something to be happy about and grateful for in today. It actually changes your perspective on actually how your life really is. Because I think a lot of us tend to hyper focus on all the little negative BS that's going on around us, and we overlook the fact that there's so much that is going right, and that is to be grateful for. And that's the problem. And then that's why we're also thinking, well, tomorrow will be better, the future will be better, today's just a crappy day, I'm not going to worry about it. But actually today is not a crappy day. Today is a good day, and changing that perspective
Yeah.
will actually help improve tomorrow's version of who we are, what we want
Yeah.
to be, our passion, etc. So you have
Yeah. And
a go
just
ahead.
wanted to add that being grateful doesn't mean that like I'm always going to be joyful and positive and everything is like only
No.
positive emotions. I could be in pain and like crying on the floor and still be grateful for being alive. So I think that, like happy life consists of all the full spectrum human emotions. And that's
Mhm.
really important part as well, to just really embrace everything that, being human has to offer and just be honest with yourself.
Yes. So I had a question for you and I just lost it. Oh, yeah, you have an event coming up, um, rewiring your brain for weight loss without um,
Giving up
giving up
chocolate for
chocolate and
champagne.
champagne. So tell me more about what exactly that is and when is it?
Yeah, so that's on Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time. So I guess it's 1 p.m. in Texas. So Tuesday, 18th of August, and also replay will be available for people who can't attend live. And it's about weight loss, but it's not about weight loss. It's for people who want to lose weight and who maybe tried to diet in the past, tried to push themselves to exercise, to use the willpower, but it hasn't worked. So what I found throughout my own journey when I was trying to diet and, try so hard, I was like yo-yo dieting, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, and it's not sustainable. But when I shifted my identity, when I shifted
Mhm.
and I became, from someone who believed that being fat is in my genes or losing weight is hard, to someone who like naturally is healthy and loves to exercise, and I don't have to even give up things like chocolate or champagne. I don't
Right.
have to like micromanage anything. It's more about just setting the intention, shifting your identity, knowing who you need to be, someone who is like naturally fit, lean and slim and
Mhm.
healthy, and then you allow kind of the action and behavior to take care of itself. And this is the point of the whole manifestation, is just really setting the intention, having your vision, knowing who you are, and then not micromanaging the details.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, you take an action, you need to take action towards it,
Absolutely.
but
But
getting wrapped up in the details and how it's going to happen, I think is where a lot of people run into issues.
because the thing is, like, when you fully embody that version of you, the action is natural. And if the
Mhm.
action is not natural, means you're not really embodying that version of you. So that's why I'm like, I don't believe in willpower. I believe like in full embodiment, like having a
Right.
vision, having the reality you want to live in, about the version of you that you want to be, and then just fully surrendering to that. And if you really are a version of you who loves to exercise, who's naturally fit and slim, then going to the gym will be natural. And that's what happened in my life. Because now I do exercise, I go to the gym and I absolutely love it. It's like my favorite thing, but it was not the case in the past. I used to like try to drag myself.
Right.
And like my taste completely changed years ago when I did this work to like rewire my own brain. I started eating different foods because cravings change and your appetite changes, the hormones, because the brain actually manages all the hormones in your body, and it's responsible for all the bodily functions. So
Right.
again, it's not like, just like lay on a couch and expect the weight to drop off, but it's more about like when you fully embody that, the action will be natural. And it's only a matter of time when it becomes your reality.
Yeah. I know for myself that changing your thought process about food has definitely shifted for me over the years. And what I used to like and what I like now are two totally different things. But like you said, you just envision that's who I am, and that I love that stuff. And
Yeah.
it's not hard. It really isn't. Once you get past that mindset of this is a diet, oh, I got to lose weight, et cetera, et cetera. But no, you got to embody it as this is a lifestyle. This is what I enjoy. This is what I really like. And it makes a huge difference. Or at least it did for me. And it's not hard. It's not hard to
No,
eat the way I do
fun.
now. I know a lot of people are like, how'd you get so small and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you got to change how you think about it. It's
Yeah,
not a diet. It's a lifestyle that you love. And when you think of it that way, it makes a big difference.
yeah,
So, well,
yeah.
um, I think those were most of the questions. Do you have anything else that, just really resonates with you that you feel like people should hear? Maybe something new that you've been working on that you want to give us a sneak peek
And
into?
like my kind of idea is like anything is possible, and you are the boss of your own life, and you can create your life in whatever way you want. And a lot of people just believe that they're supposed to do something that they don't like, whether go to a job that they don't like, or diet, exercise, or like be in a relationship that they don't like. Actually, you can have anything you want. And I'm a living example of that. I literally like consciously and intentionally created my whole life, which is based on freedom and love and connection. And I've been running a location dependent business for the last 8 years. I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been. Like when I was in my early 20s, I was really unhealthy and overweight. And I feel like I'm getting younger and stronger every single year.
Mm-hmm.
And anything is possible. And people like forget that. But I just want to remind people that you are the boss of your own life. Just need to
Yes.
figure out what do you want, and then fully embody that version of you who is already living in that reality, and then fully surrender and allow the circumstances to just take care of themselves. And obviously you will need to take action, but that will be aligned action. So it will feel natural, and doesn't mean always easy, but it will feel good. And you just have to get really honest with yourself and really committed to yourself. Because why
Yes.
else are we here, right? What else
Exactly.
to do? Yeah.
Live your passion, live your purpose, and not be sitting there constantly questioning it and figuring out who am I, what am I, and why is life so horrid when
But
it's really not.
we need to have those questions as well, because that's what leads to figuring out the thing. But also another thing in terms of figuring out your passion, what I believe is like following the breadcrumbs of excitement. Because you can't know your full path and passion. Like even 8 years ago, I didn't know that I would be doing what I'm doing now, but I knew I was really passionate about health and I really wanted to go to Thailand. And that's why I did. I just trusted the process. In that moment, I trusted my inner guidance. Whereas like logically it didn't make any sense because I quit my corporate career and I sold everything. I was just like scared. My parents thought I was crazy. Even I thought for a moment like I was crazy. I was just like, no, I just have to follow. And I've learned throughout the years to like really recognize that deep inner voice, which kind of guides me, and not to argue with it. So when it tells me move countries, do this, do that, I'm just like, okay, I don't see the full picture now, but I'm just trusting.
That's a hard thing, is having that trust and faith, because it's scary. It is scary. And when you have like your family members looking at you like, she's lost it, she's gone crazy, what is she thinking? Yeah, that would be difficult.
Scary in the moment, but so worth it. Because I think, and my last thought is like the most important relationship that you'll ever have is your relationship with your soul.
Yes.
That should be your priority. We need to honor that.
Yeah, because that doesn't leave you. Everything else can, but that doesn't.
Yeah.
So it is definitely the most important relationship. So for people who are interested in following Osha, you'll see it scrolling across the bottom. She's got her own website, of course, oshakey.com. And she is also on Instagram with Osha_key. And then she's on Facebook as well. She's on osha.key.ok. Any other last bits that you would like to leave us with, Osha? Otherwise, I believe
no, if anyone wants to lose weight, then the best way to start is to come to that workshop on Tuesday. And also Instagram is my kind of platform where I post every single day. So if you want to feel connected, come and visit me at Osha.
Yes.
Yeah, at not Osha Key, Osha_key.
Yeah, definitely check her Instagram out. That's actually where I found her, and she's
And thank you so much.
awesome.
Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you. And
absolutely, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. And for all those viewers out there, I will try to also put her link up there once this is posted, and her link for the Tuesday event for the rewiring. Don't give up your chocolate and champagne. I love my chocolate, not big champagne.
Your own, treat. Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, everyone, you all have a great day. And thank you again, Osha, for your time. And we will see y'all another day.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.